Okay, friends, welcome to the full moon in July, which is happening actually tomorrow, Wednesday, July 29th. So technically, the moon right now is still in Capricorn. However, we are about to move over into the sign of Aquarius. I was recently invited to reflect on the moons, so I wanted to share this with you just firstly here. That the summer moons contain the energy and the potency of an expansion and inner power. So you can just kind of sit and reflect on this. The autumn moons move into that harvest, closure, and preparation energy. Winter moons are really that of a time of reflection and maybe the beginning of the year, even reflection. And the spring moons is that of awakening and renewal. So as we sit with this summer moon, which is considered the August moon would also be summer, we're sitting in this expansion and inner power. And that's really truly what July's buck moon is calling us into. It's referred to as the buck moon, as the deer, which I've seen here too. The deer are still growing and continue to grow their horns, their antlers, technically. They're covered by velvet right now, which nourishes the bone growth inside. And so what this moon really is asking us to do is to reflect on what has already grown and to really step into your power. Being that this moon lives in Aquarius, it's asking us to look at that independence and personal growth aspect, while also that more collective and authentic, liberated state. So we may have been noticing an emotional or energetic kind of flux happening here a few days before the full moon, which is tomorrow, and then a few days after. And this is asking us to really shift something. There's something extreme, and it could be a nurturing and stepping into, and it could also be a deep release, right? But it may be of the energy of extreme. There's something taking place here that is really asking us to step into that inherent power and vitality. So, checking in with your heart space daily, reflecting on how you can allow your most authentic self to be seen, your weirdest self, right? The Aquarian energy might also have a flavor of detachment that happens, kind of a shadow quality, or it could also be an acting completely unbothered by something, even though something may bother you deeply. So just noticing and paying attention to where that energy is. Is there a way that you are able to really embody or feel the person that you are becoming? Maybe even allowing yourself to envision what that person might be at the end of the year and allowing that energy to move into your system right now. So, as I've already mentioned, that release work, right? There's continuing to be that release of old, outdated patterns, identities. There's a inherentness happening with and this is happening all throughout 2026. Like this is such a pivotal year of really doing that deep shadow work and allowing that integration to take place of what we might not even like about ourselves or have a hard time accepting about ourselves. I also wanted to mention that there is a shift in the axis that it's taking place. The north node is moving into Aquarius, the north node of the moon, and the south node is moving into Leo. This is kind of setting us up for about the next 18 months of this interesting dynamic, right? So the South Node in Leo is identifying with maybe familiar territory. You might notice the same similar patterns that are coming back up to the surface for you to really look at, illuminate, and let go. Leo comes with more of that open-heartedness. So that North Node moving into Aquarius points to that deconstruction, right? And Aquarius energy is taking what Leo has built and asks us to put it to use somewhere beyond ourselves. So that Aquarius. Leo is a generator of something that is real. So it's really anchoring and grounding. And this is just a very brief overview. Leo also governs the inner child and whether we are even clearly seen by our own mothers, potentially. So that may also bring back those old patterns of worthy of attention. And this just marks the very tip of what will happen come eclipse season, which Serena of Life Cycles Yoga will be leading an eclipse circle. So I'm very excited. Look her up, join us.
Yeah, we just like Lou does here, like I run an eclipse circle and it's just like really personalized for you because I get your birth data and I can write a report for you for where the eclipse happened in your chart. And then we share like this on Zoom if you're interested. I can give you my contact information, but it's lifecyclesyoga.com. I'll be putting it up on the website. But Lou, that was really awesome. I'm so glad that you mentioned the change in the North and South Node because that's significant this year. This is a very significant year with all the changes going on. There's so many planets that switch signs, which is very unique. That hasn't happened in like, I don't even know, like 900 years or something. It was incredibly, it's really big year as we can feel, right? And you know that determines the eclipses, and this full moon tomorrow triggers the eclipse that comes in 2 weeks, and that's the first eclipse is in Leo. It's a new moon in Leo, and then the second one is a full moon in Pisces. So we're finishing out Virgo and Pisces. So if you have your chart, you know this is great to look at your chart and where these particular signs fall. um and Lou, one thing I wanted to mention too, which is just to connect with Aquarius is about community. And what we're going to see is the collective, the community, everything that Lou mentioned, being your weird and authentic self within your own community and joining new communities and rising up as community. And I think that's really beautiful because the North Node points to the future. And that's going to be really important as we move forward because also Aquarius rules hopes and dreams for the future. It rules over technology, innovation, science, the internet, and partially over astrology as well. So it's a really powerful full moon. And you mentioned inner work and shadow, and that's because it's conjunct Pluto because Pluto is the planet of like the shadow, the fear, the inner work. And this is a very internal moon for tomorrow, for as intense as it is. Because the moon is emotion, Pluto is transformation and it's internal transformation of your emotional self. So, yeah, and release, letting go of those fears. Yeah, it's going to be a big one. And it's at 8:36 Mountain Time in the morning tomorrow. That's 10:36 a.m. Eastern Time. So I'm not sure where you guys are at, but Mountain Time, it's 8:36 a.m. So just, pay attention to it's been crazy and wild out there, right? Big emotions, people doing very strange things. Stay grounded, just like Lou said.
Yeah, that's more important now. I will also follow up. Thank you so much, Serena.
Welcome.
Looking forward to the eclipse circle as always. That the one of the cards I pulled for this evening, the question that I posed was, what am I ready to release back to the waters? And it came up. I'm using the deck Tree of Life. The card that came up was that of the Phoenix rising, that of the Judgment card, and this is significant of that Pluto astrology. So just asking yourself where you live in the energy of this card and how and what is being released here. If you are the egg, the bird, or the fire phase of a situation, it's so Plutonian and so right on the money. So, with all of that said, let's go ahead and allow that mental body to go for a moment as we come into our breath, inhaling through the nose into the upper belly and exhaling through the nose or the mouth, letting it go. Inhaling into the upper belly and exhaling to ground down, down, down through the sit bones. You're welcome to stay here with a full yogic breath, especially if you have a hard time sleeping at night or are very airy. If it feels better to ground right now, stay with this full yogic breath into the upper belly and exhaling, anchoring down through the sit bones. Equal part inhale and exhale. Agni Prasad. I invite you to inhale through the nose, exhale through a O-shaped mouth. Inhale through an O-shaped mouth and exhale through your nose. Inhale through your nose, exhale through an O-shaped mouth. Inhale through an O-shaped mouth and exhale through your nose. Continue with this pattern. If it's not overstimulating, inhale through the nose, exhale through the O-shaped mouth. Inhale through an O-shaped mouth and exhale through the nose. While your mind becomes very focused and present on the breath, asking yourself, what part of me has quietly grown stronger this season? Paying attention to any intuitive hits, any words that pop up. Allowing yourself to come into your journal. If you feel called to write it down, what part of me has quietly grown stronger this season? Allowing the mouth breath to go and coming back into full yogic breath in through the nose into the upper belly. You may already be in an easy seat, legs crossed, or seated in a chair. Let's begin to move through just a seated cat-cow, inhaling the heart forward, exhaling the heart back. There again, if you're looking for more grounding, more earth energy, the chin stays parallel to the earth. If it feels okay in the neck and in the energetic body, we inhale, the chin can lift up, and exhale, the chin can tuck down. Just being here with your body, with your breath, noticing what the body has in store for you today, this evening. You're welcome to move as slowly or as quickly as feels comfortable. Taking 3 more breaths with your movement here. And then coming back into stillness at the center, asking yourself, what part of me stays hidden in order to stay safe within the community? Leaning into the heart space, what part of me stays hidden to stay safe within the community? There's no right or wrong, good or bad with anything that comes up. There's simply a noticing and an exploration. We can revisit these reflections as we move forward. I'd like to invite you to either stay seated in a meditative space or to come lying down on your back for the next part.
So we'll move into a meditation. And in the meditation, we'll be invited to expand, to stay grounded and present while allowing ourselves to expand into that higher state, that higher consciousness, as above, so below. So beginning to get comfortable making those micro adjustments so you can stay in this position, gently closing the eyes if that feels safe, returning to that breath, letting the breath begin to move like a wave as you inhale and exhale. Feel that constant wave of breath, letting the breath guide you. And beginning to feel the belly move with the breath, a gentle rise and fall of the belly, like the tide coming in and out. Notice the sensation in the belly. Where is the breath moving you? As we continue to breathe, we'll start to bring that breath up slowly, letting it climb the ladder of the spine. Maybe even sipping the breath up like you were drinking a milkshake. Sipping the breath up, pausing when you reach the top of that breath. Exhaling out slowly. Again, sip the breath nice and slowly up the spine. Pause at the very top of that breath and hold. Feel the crown expand with breath. Exhale to release. This time, as we take in that breath, we'll pause. And on the exhale, we'll blow it out forcefully, expanding our field. So sip the breath up nice and slow. Feel each vertebrae as it moves up the back, into the throat, into the crown. Pause. When you're ready, we're going to blow that out, allowing yourself to expand as you lift into this state of higher consciousness. Perhaps bringing in those feelings of gratitude, sensation, concentrating on the love that you are in this expanded state. Surrendering your titles, the roles you play, the stories. Surrender all those earthly comings and goings, the need to do anything, to allow this expansion. Tapping into that field of energy, your aura. I surrender. I surrender. I surrender. Perhaps you're connecting with that higher version of self, guides, connecting to something bigger than our physical forms. Perhaps posing a gentle inquiry. What do I need to know? What step do I take next? Show me the truth. Visualize golden light pouring into the crown space, moving through the body like warm honey, repairing, moving through your organs, your tissues, your cells, returning you to this pure state of being, inviting in flow, ease, abundance, cocooning yourself in that warm golden frequency, releasing the physical and earthly boundaries. What's the best that could happen? What is the soul calling in today? What is it ready to release? Trust the earth to hold you. Merging this expansion, this state of light into the physical, bringing that expansive 5D experience, the love that you are, folding it in to that physical vessel, uniting body and soul, experiencing this state of connection, of sovereignty. You're knowing your I am. I am safe. I am held. I am witnessed. I am. I am. I am. And you notice the sensations in the physical being, where you notice space, ease, allowing whatever resistance may be there without judgment, without the need to fix. holding both states just as they are.
What is being fully seen for you now? Allowing yourself and giving yourself permission for anything that comes up to be moved through, to be released. Connecting with all of the elementals, that of earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Using the energy of this full moon to fully step into your power, bringing your awareness into the navel space, the solar plexus, just above the belly button, and allowing this sentence to finish, completing this sentence rather. The strongest version of myself is the one who. The strongest version of myself is the one who. And just like the antlers that are regenerated each year, how can you honor the growth that you have seen? How can you honor the different versions of yourself that have gotten you to this evolution today? I'd like to offer the additional card that I pulled for the group for what is fully seen now is this number 10 card of the kingdom, which refers to that of earth and being here now. To think about the earth that you live on and how she nurtures, how she takes care. And much is made of higher realms, of course, but on this plane of existence, it symbolizes all of the five elements. So it's really this manifestation energy. So, a reminder that you are a part of this world and not apart from it. So, however, this full moon greets you today, this week, honoring where you've come, what's brought you here, the growth that you're continuing to move through.